Today, we're going to discuss deep fryers. And I've got a couple. I've got a hot air fryer. I have a deep fryer. They're fairly large, you know. I normally use the deep fryer if I'm like doing donuts, sopapillas, something like this. But these things take so much energy. And if you're a single individual, or if you're doing something like I do just for the wife and I, maybe you're a soldier or a student, you've got nothing, you've got your microwave, your little hot plate, a couple of pans and so on, and you don't have space for this or cannot afford it, okay, then, you know, you have to find something else. And to tell you the truth, for me, if I am eating jalapeno and cheese poppers, fried mozzarella sticks, onion rings, French fries, the hot air stuff and so on is good for some of that. But you try getting an onion ring in one of these things that keeps swirling stuff around, it's going to tear them up. Or your mozzarella sticks or whatever. And to be honest, I am from the generation, give me a little bit of fat, please. Okay? A little bit of fat is good for you. What's important to know is the type of fat. Now, most of this stuff, this sunflower oil, linseed oil, all of this, a lot of these are heavily processed. And that creates, in the chemical reaction, it creates bad fats. This is why normally, just to be on the safe side for me, is I use only extra virgin olive oil. Yes, it spoils faster. You have to use it, blah, 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 blah. However, you can't get much. They take an olive, they put it in, they squeeze it, they put it in the bottle, they run it through a filter, put it in the bottle, and there you go. Don't keep it more than a couple of weeks or months because it'll go bad. Or store it so and so and so if you don't want it to. The dilemma is as well, if I want, like, let me see. Let's say I want to do some onion rings. It's just a few, just for me, okay? Or some mozzarella sticks or whatever. I don't want to be using that big fryer. I don't want to be using the hot air thing that's going to get these all crunched and smushed up. I want my onions to be rings. I want my mozzarella sticks to be sticks. I want my poppers to be poppers and not flattened stuff with cheese mushed all in there or whatever. And as I said, for me specifically, to me it just tastes better. Some things taste better deep fried. Yes, okay, example. If I want to make a handful of French fries, I just want a handful to go with my burger or whatever that I'm making because the wife is off at a party or she's off with her work friends, whatever, and it's just me and the cats. Yes, I'm an old cat lady. It's just me and the cats. Well, all right, let's forget the lady part. Okay, it's me and the cats, and I'm making myself a little burger. I want some fries. And one, I don't want to use a lot of electricity. Two, I do not want to use a lot of oil. Three, I want to use as smaller utensils as possible to conserve that energy and so on. It takes almost 15 to 18 minutes for our hot air fryer to do a batch of French fries. And it's running for 10 to 15, for about 15 to 18 minutes. And then they're really, to me, it's not a French fry. Okay, yeah, it's there, it's cooked, but there's something wrong with the texture, the off flavor. It's just, I'll eat them, they're fine, okay? And if I'm doing a big batch for the wife and I, or if we have people over and I need to do a large batch, perfectly fine, I'll use it for that. However, for 15 to 18 minutes of cooking, just for a small batch, that is a lot of energy. That's a lot of electricity. Today we're going to make a small mini deep fryer. With this I can do a little batch of onion rings, a little batch of french fries, my little camembert, cheeses, my mozzarella, my little egg rolls, whatever. I mean, an egg roll for me baked in an oven just is not an egg roll, sorry. All right. And so the first thing we got to look at is what we're going to use. Most of my stuff I have found works good for a pan like this. And I could just put the oil in here and cook it. Fine. There's your deep fryer. The reason a deep fryer has that catch bane and so on is that the stuff that comes off of this when you're cooking it will settle to the bottom. And if I put another batch in, if I'm doing like a rotation batch, then whatever's down there is going to cook onto my next batch that I put into that hot oil. So let's say I want to do some camembert and some mozzarella sticks and maybe some poppers, a little assortment while I'm working on the computer testing out a game or whatever. And I want finger food. And so I cook the mozzarella sticks, they come out fine. I cook the onion rings, now I've got little brown speckles sticking on it. Then I try to do the poppers and now I've got black stuff stuck to it because the stuff down has settled to the bottom. When you put it in, it lands on it. So what we need to do is make a screen that keeps the sediment from our food. And that's fairly simple. This again, I love this stuff. I buy it. God, I guess I buy it in bulk sometimes. I do it once a year at least. Get a big thick thing of them. This is the screening that you put like in a barbecue grill or a smoker to put stuff on. And what I'm going to do is we're going to use this to make our separator. So let's get started. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of paper, newspaper, whatever. This is just my work paper. As you see, I've used it for other things. I don't know if you can see all the scrunches and marks on there. I'm going to lay this down on top with this little rimming sticking up because I want a flat surface. I could flatten that out, but hey. Then I'm going to place this on top of it. And I'm going to use my, this is a little aluminum, it's flat on one side. And to conserve this, I'm going to flatten that. And then I can line my curvature up so I'm maximizing the amount of material. No haste, no waste. Then we're going to take our marker. I use one of those elongated ones so I can turn it whichever way I need it. And I am going to mark around and be sure to immediately wipe your pan off, otherwise that marker will stick to it, and we don't want that. We don't want that later to be heating up and getting into our food. There we go. Then I just got me a new set of scissors, so I'm going to use my old scissors, and just outside this ring that I drew, I don't know if you can see the ring there, see it right there, I'm going to cut this out. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is clean this up so we get all this little metal pieces and stuff out of our way. We're going to put our excess away. We can save that for another day to use for another project with our paper. So we've got our disc. There we go. We've got our disc. we got our pan. Let me wipe this up and get this clean. I go through so much 409. My wife says I'm paranoid that I should invest in stock and so on. But the thing is, Germans are a bit weird. You can go into a German bakery, they've got all the sweets and stuff, right? And you see flies and wasps and bees inside the casing eating on this stuff and flying in and out. You go to a meat market, a butchery, you see the same thing. And the thing is, these Germans really love to take urine, cow and pig manure, they make it into a slush and they spray it over their fields. And I know that fly's been out there somewhere. And just, maybe it's just my American upbringing, but I gotta have something clean. Now with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, just with my fingers, because it's light enough, I'm just going to bend this in a little bit. So I've got a little raised ridge. Then I'm going to put it into here. And then I'm going to press it down. I want that raised ridge pointing up at this point. Then, this is a rolling pin. It's wood. I'm using wood because I do not want to damage my pan. And I want to press this into shape. It's not going to be 100% even at the moment, but it gives me a basic shape for the bottom rim of that pan. And there we go. Now what I can do is look at where my stuff is, and any off section I want to trim it to where that sets fairly even. Okay, got a little bit of rise here, but it's nothing major. This way now, with this pointing down, I can put this in, and it's still a little large. I may have cut it a little too large. Now I'm cutting inside my black marks. I don't want a lot of space. I just need a little bit of space so that keeps I should have cut inside my circle, not outside of it. Everything looks good on the paper when you print it up and you do the workout. In application, sometimes things just don't work out the way that you want them to. I want this edge to fit right inside the edge here. And I want to have about a 1/2 centimeter of gap between it and the bottom. There, much better. And there you go. And I've got maybe a 1/2 centimeter, 3/4 of a centimeter gap between this mesh and the bottom. Let me get this cleaned up. We'll be right back. So now I can put this in the dishwasher. with the rest of the saucers, set it up, let it wash, and we're ready to go. And there you have it. I have me 2 of them at this point. And then when I use it, it will be in, not in the DIY section, it will be in the cooking section, listed under onion rings with DIY deep fryer, okay? And then it'll reference back to this video. And that's it. Now you got a little mini DIY, do it yourself deep fryer. It will keep the sediments off of your food. Normally I use tongs or a little spatula scoop like this here to get my stuff out, because you don't want to press it down. You don't want to press it and then have that stuff come into contact with your sediments. Scoop it out, or I use a pair of heat-resistant tongs to pull my stuff out, and that's it. I use, as I said, I use virgin olive oil and or extra virgin olive oil, and so I hope this comes in useful. Watch the cooking section and you'll see me having it in use.